So, starting my new job has really helped me to realize that my last job wasn't something I really wanted to do.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I worked my way up in the first company, and I thought it was going to be awesome, and I thought that was going to be a good opportunity, and it ended up not being what I thought it was. And I moved really far away from all my family and friends, and I was isolated, and I wasn't treated right. So, I made the decision to move back, and it's been really awesome. And I was really excited about what's to come. And we live closer now, so we can hang out more.
That's true. I miss hanging out with you.
Me too.
So what did you think it was gonna be like going to the place to work?
I thought I was going to be respected a lot. I thought I was going to learn things that would help me in the future. I thought that the company was a good company to work for, and that my manager there was going to have my best interest. Because that's how we initially started it, was she cared more about me than the old store I transferred from, and I just really liked her, but having the conversation with her on the phone and then having her as my manager, this was completely different. And it just brought my whole excitement down a notch. And then when employees would like call me names or like be really rude to me and didn't understand that a 20-year-old could be a manager and just didn't like it and wasn't open to new things, it just changed my whole perspective on what it's going to be.
So, if I got that right, so you took this job thinking that it was gonna be a lot better. You know, it's in the same company, you switched to a different store,
Yeah.
and it ended up being not exactly as nice as you thought it would be.
Yeah.
Am I hearing that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you totally got it spot on.
Well, you said something about other employees being rude to you. How were they rude to you?
When I first got there, I had found out the position had been promised to other people. So having them know that my manager had hired someone from a different city and someone they didn't know, and that that opportunity was taken away from them, I think just being there, just me going there, was like they already have a preconceived notion about me. So, I don't think I ever got the chance to show them who I really was, because in the back of their minds, I stole their position. And then getting into it, I had a not so nice nickname said about me, and it started to stick. And it was something that I was called, that I walked on, and I was always called. And one of the things about that is that my manager would stop that, so I kept progressing, and I kept telling her how uncomfortable I felt about it. But I think that when the manager doesn't do anything about that, it kind of takes my authority away, so no one respected me. And that is the hardest thing to be put in when you're supposed to be in charge of everybody.
I remember you told me before that you were kind of promised a higher position there. So how did that work out while you were there? I mean, clearly you got the job and and other people didn't, but how did that actually end up?
Yeah, so it never did. So one of the things I was promised when I moved there was that the position was going to be right away. I would be totally trained in it right away. My pay, which was really important to me at the time, not so much now, but was one of the reasons why I moved, for the pay, which now sounds, in retrospect, sounds so stupid. But it wasn't like that. Like when I got there, I felt like I didn't even get the position. I felt like I was a hired seasoned checker, if you will, because that's what I did at this company. I just felt like she had hired me, and I still do now, to just help her through the summertime. Just to be a checker that knew her thing, had been working there for 2.5 years, and just knew that she would get a really good checkup for the summer, because it's really busy at the beach during the summer. And so like while I was there, I kind of had to fight for it. Like I kept having to say, okay, when are the manager classes coming? Like when can I get trained? When is this going to happen for me? You know, I'm paying rent on minimum wage. I'm living by myself. That was one of the adventures of moving, was just living by myself and having that pay to be able to pay for it. You know, I was really struggling, but I had so much faith in this company that I waited it out, and I thought she was going to promise. But even until the last day that I thought I was going to be a supervisor, it was still pulled out from under me, so it never happened. And I think that kind of ties back into employees not having respect for you, because they're seeing the manager put me off, and they're like, well, she's not really what she's here for. Like, don't listen to her, don't mind her authority. So, but yeah, I never got the position that I thought I was going to get.
That seems really unfair.
Yeah.
And it seems like that was something that, like you said, was a struggle. So I'm assuming that it was pretty frustrating and, pretty upsetting to be in that setting where you were promised something and never got it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it's work related. I mean,
yeah, and then just putting my whole kind of future on the line, for it. Just like packing my bags and being like, okay, I'm gonna start this new thing, and just not panning out. It was a disappointment.
yeah.
It was.
I understand that. I mean, it was such a big step to
Yeah.
move from, a different town on your own,
Mm-hmm.
just given off of a word that never really kept true.
Yeah.
Wow. So what prompted you to come back to Portland? Was it just because of the disappointment, or was it because of finances? And what exactly brought you back to Portland?
I mean, it was definitely finances. A big part of it was. But I came to this point where, on the last day of my shift that I had worked at this company, I kind of felt like, and I'm a Christian, and I believe God, like, takes things away from you, and when they're not good for you, if that's not the direction He wants you going in. The day before my last shift, I was really sick, and so I had to call out. And when I got there the next day, I had like this big feeling like, don't put your supervisor name tag on. And it's really weird, now that I think about it, I'm like, it's pretty odd. Like, you were a supervisor, like, in the eyes of the company I'm being trained upon, and my manager was letting me wear a name tag, whatever. But I just felt like I shouldn't wear it that day. And I think, when I think back on it, I kind of reevaluated, like, right then and there in the car when I'm deciding which one to put on, which name tag to put on. Like, I realized this isn't what I want anymore, and that it was okay that I didn't have it. And I ended up losing my position because I had called out, which was actually against the union, but I was okay with it. Like, I didn't want to fight it. I mean, I said a couple things that I wanted to say, and I ended it, and I quit. But I wasn't upset about it. When I got home and I told my mom about it, and she was visiting at the time, I was like, there's so many more better things for me out there. And I'm only 20, which was really fast, advancing into a company, and you're so young. And I just knew that was it for me, and I wanted to come back home. I wasn't happy there. I was really isolated. I mean, I only moved there for the job. I mean, the beach is nice, yeah, it was like a big weight lifted off my shoulder, like, you don't need to be doing this anymore. God has bigger plans for you, and, you should be with family and friends and you. You know, I miss you a lot, and it was okay with me. It wasn't a big deal. And then, it's a long story, I don't want to say it now, but God kind of paved the path for me to come home in a way that's so indescribable and so, like, supernatural and so, like, made me realize, like, this is his path for me and to not worry about it anymore. Because sometimes I'll think about it safely and I'm like, God, oh, I can do something, but, like, um, like, they really hurt me, and, like, I hate them, I don't want to shop there anymore, and, but the truth is, I'm really happy, so it's okay, so.
That's good. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad that you know, came back and you're in a place that you feel more comfortable and
Yeah.
at home, and,
Mhm.
you know, it's your place of originality, and
Yeah.
you have much more opportunities here, I think, than you were when you were, out on the coast. Where there's not that many people or that many, you know, jobs out there. So, from how I see it, you definitely, had quite a journey in just, you know, a little over a year, but
Yeah.
you came back and,
It was a long year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's cool.
Mhm.
Well, thanks for talking with me
Yeah.
about that. It's good to hear, like, more of a story,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah. You know, I'm very liberated. I feel good. So, I'm happy.
That's good.
Mhm.
The end!